Okay, man.
I'm a filmmaker who spent 8 years across broadcast, digital, and documentary. After all these years, I'm finally writing my own TV show. It takes the real setting of a tennis league here in Toronto and elevates it into something which I think taps into the current social and political zeitgeist of the world. While I write it, I'm using this channel to do two things. First, I want to share the real human stories that I came across during my journey in this league, the kind of stories that made me feel like there was something special worth writing about here. Second, for anyone trying to get into film or just interested in how stories are built from scratch, I'll be sharing the writing decisions I'm taking along the way, informed by years of craft knowledge and experience. I'm shaping each video like a chapter in a larger visual journal. In this chapter, I'll be talking to Amog, a good friend of mine and one of the higher ranked players in the league. And on the writing, I'll be sharing certain rules I've landed on about the world of the show.
So my name is Amog, and I am, I would say, a part-time tennis player.
Okay.
A full-time time waster. But yeah, I was working in logistics as an account manager, and I have been an account manager for the past 5-ish, 7-ish years. But I'm in between jobs now.
Okay.
So shout out anyone who's got a good position, which will give me the flexibility to play tennis all day. Let me know, reach out. If not, then please do not reach out.
So, I don't know if you've seen the other chapters.
Yes, I have.
But so do you know broadly what the show is going to be about? Like what I'm writing?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm looking for in these interviews mainly is how everybody has a different reason for what tennis kind of brings into their life, right? Some people have certain goals that they're chasing in their personal life. Some people have certain challenges, right? At least for me, like I've had those phases where those overlap,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So is there anything like currently a goal that you're chasing, maybe a challenge that you have?
I'd say, in all seriousness, so I got diagnosed with ADHD very late in life. And when I was younger, when I was a kid, I used to spend hours and hours playing tennis, playing football. And tennis in particular helps me focus really well. Because when I am here, I'm nowhere else. My mind is not racing. I'm not thinking about anything else that's happening in my life. It's what's happening on the court in the moment.
Yeah, that's beautiful, bro. One thing I will say, your game is like so consistent, which I find something that I struggle with. And I think obviously there's a lot of like, you've been drilled really well, but I think a lot of it is mental also. So do you have any like insight into that?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of background too. So I tried playing very competitively when I was a kid. But, at 18, I tore my ACL and I did not pick up a racket for almost 10 years till I met you and we started playing again.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the biggest difference I see when I was younger and when I started playing now is, number one, I started focusing a lot more on what I'm doing on the court. Because you're a kid, you don't know what's going on. You're just following what a coach says. Now it's more deliberate. Try to play more freely. Try not to feel the pressure. The pressure is still there.
Okay.
But it's more like, you're just ignoring things or just letting them flit by.
Right.
By acknowledging them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, some of the people that I really enjoy playing with are much better than I am.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call them very orthodox. Or they don't follow, I would say, how a coach would drill you.
Like Barnaby, you mean?
Yeah. Barnaby, Ken.
Yeah.
These guys are excellent. They're very, very good at what they do.
Yeah.
But it's not how, a coach would tell you to play.
Yeah. Would you say they have like a... Okay, interesting. So it's not an orthodox drilled game. It's more of like a rec players kind of game. But at like a really high level.
Very high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can still call them a very high level rec player. More of a club player game, I'd say.
A club player, okay.
Like they know how to win points, they know how to win matches.
Without like exerting too much,
Or just playing within their limits, knowing what they're good at.
Yeah.
And forcing their opponent to play to their game, their rhythm. It's the same thing. So there's this other guy, Kumar, played juniors.
Insanely good.
Yeah, very, very, very good.
Yeah.
He will not let you get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's a hallmark of a great player because he makes you play according to his game.
Good point. Yeah. Thank you, bro. This was nice.
Always.
At the end of the last chapter, I said I would be moving on to writing the characters, but as I went back to my notes to go over the themes that I wanted each character to be built around, I realized that I had certain questions about the world that I didn't have answers to yet. For example, in this future world, if there is a universal basic income, is there still inequality? I doubt that these people who own these AI companies would be okay with making the same basic income as you or me. On top of that, how long has AGI been around, and how are people generally feeling? Seeing as this genre was entirely new to me and a little more complicated than the slice of life and coming of age shows that I've written in the past, I decided to go back to theory and get my basics sorted. The man who coined the term speculative fiction was a sci-fi writer called Robert Heinlein. By way of a bit of theory, which I found quite interesting, he made an important distinction between speculative fiction and science fiction. With science fiction, the science and the technology around the premise are what's most important. But with speculative fiction, it's more about how the human beings react to that technology. So taking an example, one of my favorite sci-fi movies, Arrival, focuses heavily on the language that these aliens, which eventually is revealed to be time itself. If that same concept was written with a speculative fiction kind of lens, it would be more about how a certain section of society react to this arrival as opposed to the technology and the language. As I was going through this, it took me back to the initial thought that I had and where it came from. In the initial days of AI, Elon Musk had given an interview where he was proposing this post-work future utopia, where work would be optional and there wasn't actually a universal basic income, but a universal high income.
Well, I mean, we do get into some existential questions here. In a benign scenario, probably none of us will have a job. There will be, but in that benign scenario, there will be universal high income, not universal basic income, universal high income. There will be no shortage of goods or services. And I think the benign scenario is the most likely scenario, probably, 80% likely if you ask, in my opinion.
This income would be accruing from the immense productivity that these AI models would be bringing to us. But the part that struck me the most is what he said next.
Everyone will have access to as much in the way of goods and services as they would like. The question will really be one of meaning. If the computer can do, and the robots can do everything better than you, then does your life have meaning? That's really will be the question in the benign scenario.
And this is what he proposes to deal with that.
Now, I do think there's perhaps still a role for humans in that we may give AI meaning. So if you think of the way that our brain works, we've got the limbic system, which is our instincts and our feelings, and then we've got the cortex, which is thinking and planning. But the cortex is constantly trying to make the limbic system happy. So maybe that's how it'll be with AI, which is the AI is trying to make our cortex happy, which is trying to make our limbic system happy. And maybe we are what give the AI meaning or a purpose, some kind of, So
It worked out this future where there's so much abundance, but the core question of what it means to be a human being is something that seems to be just a footnote for them. With that context of apathy and the erasure of meaning and the deep anxiety towards our day-to-day lives, my refined concept then becomes this. We're well into the future. AGI has been around for 2 years. It can do any job a human can, and the early pain of adoption is over. The productivity it generates is enormous, even with the waves of job cuts that came because of it. That productivity has just begun funding a universal basic income, not the universal high income that was initially promised. And the reason they claim for this is that AGI is on its way to creating that abundance of productivity, but we're not there yet. And that gap between what was promised and what arrived has bred a deep distrust amongst the millions now living without work. Underneath the distrust, something quieter and heavier. 2 years in, the people who lost their jobs have lost something else too, a sense of meaning, a reason to get up in the morning. At this point, just like in the world today, people have various levels of crisis of meaning. Some people will decide to do something about it, some people will be in denial, some people will blame others. Our core 4 characters will each represent a different axis in their relationship to meaning. Interestingly, the genre of speculative fiction requires people to react differently to the premise at hand. The world of a recreational tennis league fits it even better, because as I've hopefully been showcasing through the interviews I've been taking, this league means something so different for each person. Everybody has a different motivation, a different context that they come with, and different challenges that they're trying to overcome while using this as their hobby and their outlet. I'll get more into these characters and their relationship to meaning in the next chapter. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.